Operation Longshot. Let's get into one of the other projects of the plethora, the innumerable projects that have taken place that have all been a part of Operation Longshot. See, you yourself are a part, in fact, of this operation. Whether you make or break is, in fact, a part of the statistics of the operation. See, in order for there to be 66%, that means that there has to be 66%. It can't be 65.9. People don't understand this. The Most High is merciful. Yes, He is. However, throughout His mercy, He still must exact justice. Justice being exacted doesn't mean that He wanted to do that to you. It means that through the means of actions, this is what must happen. Saying that, if a man were to read from the Septuagint, and he were to open up to the chapter 4 of the Septuagint, and he were to get to chapter 4, and he were to get to verse 17, and the overlay is that Cain has killed Abel. Now, the reason why this is this part of the operation is the beginning of a contingent effort. The reason why I'm going to read to you the number of generations from Cain to the firstborn of a man named Lamech, and we're going to read the generations and understand that we read nothing of particular happenings but from one individual to the next. I will highlight these things as we go over them. They are the first ever in succession as it happens. One moment. And I'm not talking about these actions in particular, but when it happens, I'll speak. Verse 17, and Cain knew his wife, and having conceived, she bore Enoch. And he built a city, and by the word built, or was building, okay, and he named the city after the name of his son, Enoch. Now I'll stop right there. One of the things that we have to highlight is that Cain has built a city. Unless you know of another city that is mentioned before this, this is the first city ever built. This could be a byproduct of being able to learn, or this could be a byproduct of the fact that fallen angels, expelled angels from the heavenly realm were already on earth. Could have given this man instruction to do as such. This isn't giving man weaponry and things like that. So understand the formality there is not the same incursion that happens later. And I will go over that in this birthing line. And to Enoch was born Gadad. This is verse 18. And Gadad begot Melaleel. And Melaleel begot Methuselah. And Methuselah begot Lamech. Now understand, there's not giving us any time frames of how old these men were when this happened. So we're going to be creative, okay? I'm going to be creative. I'm going to say that once I give you the layout of how old Cain really is, you can imagine how old all these people are in your own mind and when this happened. Verse 19. And Lamech took to himself 2 wives, the name of one Ada, and the name of the other Selah. And Ada bore Jobel. He was the father, past tense, of those that dwell in the tents, feeding cattle. And the name of his brother Jubal. He it was, also past tense, who invented the psaltery and harp. So stop right there. We have the first man who was the known herdsman, okay? And then we have the first musician. Now, what we have to realize is that when we count the generations from when men start to invent again, from when cities were builded, Cain is the first generation. So Enoch is number 2. Gadad is 3. Malalil is 4. Lamech is 5. Okay, so listen. Jobal and his brother Jubal are in the 6th generation. Are you hearing that? Okay, bam. He it was who invented the psaltery and the harp. Now also, verse 22, and Selah also bore Tobel. He's also from the 6th generation from. He was a smith, a manufacturer, both of brass and iron. And the sister of Tobel was Noema. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say something. This is deep, because I'm just going to pick off from chapter 5 on up with Adam, and I'm going to read something to you, and then we're going to stop, and then we're going to go forward again. Chapter 5, verse 1. This is the genealogy of men in the day which God made Adam. In the image of God he made him. Male and female he made them, and blessed them. And he called them, and he called their name Adam, in the day which he made them. And Adam lived 230 years, and begot a son after his own form and after his own image, and called his name Seth. And the days in which Adam lived, and the days of Adam which he lived after begetting Seth, were 700 years, and he begot sons and daughters. Now stop right there. Before we carry on, it says that Adam was 230 when he begot Seth. In the King James Version, even the Tanakh, maybe Torah, it will say 130. I'm not going to get caught up on the 100-year difference that they have in the timeline of these people. What I will get caught up on is if Adam ate the fruit for the very first time and Adam was made to live forever, that means day 1 for Adam was when he first ate the fruit. It's believable that, let's say, I don't know, as soon as they got kicked out of the garden, he had sex with Eve. She got pregnant with Cain. Adam was never a boy. He was made into a man's body, formed into a man's body, fashioned that way. Whereas he had a child that went through this, once again, this is the first natural person with soul constitution to go through the actual birthing process. Now, why this is important is because while in physical form, Adam is a man, Cain is a child, in actuality, Cain and Adam are only a year apart. So when I say that Adam is 230 years old and he begot Seth, well, guess how old Cain was when he started having children? Right around the same age. So the reason why this is important is because when you read the generations from Adam to Seth to Enos to Canaan, so from Adam to Seth that's the 2nd generation. Enos is the 3rd. Canaan is the 4th. Malalil is the 5th. Jared is the 6th. Now, why that's so important is because the 6th generation that is mentioned or that is carried on up to, and the generations of Cain is to the 6th generation. Now, it carries on past the 6th generation, obviously, in the bloodline of Seth. But the reason why this is so important is because it says in the days of Jared that the angels fell. Well, if we match up generation per generation, that means that Seth's children are around the same age as his father's children, right? So he has little brothers that are way younger than him. Are you hearing me? Little brothers that are way, way younger. And his children have nephews that are uncles that are like the same age. They should be way older. However, that's not even the case in the fact and the point that I'm trying to get at. The case and the fact and the point that I'm trying to get at is that Cain's bloodline to the sixth generation. Only until we get to the sixth generation do people become inventors of things again. It was said that in the generation or in the days of Jared that the angels fell from their post. The watchers came down from their post and made it with the daughters of men. Well, could it be the fact that maybe, just maybe, y'all, these there's a correlation there between the days of Jared and Jobel and Jubal and Tobel, right? Noema, their sister. Can you dig it? Is there a correlation there? Operation Longshot is very, very complicated, but I'm seeing that it's congealed into the same effort that I've been speaking on for a long time, that I've heard other people speak on for a long time. This is a much more complicated thing than just trying to say this is what it is because of this. This is the very beginning. And once again, if the very beginning isn't clear, there's no way that you can be in the latter parts of the book and know what's going on. It's direly impossible. The reason why this is so important is because, once again, if in the days of Jared, right, the angels come down, that means that just being presumptuous, Jubal, Jobel, Tobo, Noema, all of them were directly influenced by like fallen ones. You know, watchers. There's no need to herd animals. Why do you need to herd them? Why can't they just be? Once again, that comes from the what's the word? The dominion. That's that mentality. But still, to have the know-how to do that, because the ability to learn doesn't mean you know. Adam didn't know to go eat from the tree of life, so that way he would live forever before he got, before everything happened. Because had he known that, then he would have done it. So it's the same thing there. Is that Cain had the ability to learn, so he was taught to build the city. It's not written there, but come on, bro. Why didn't he build the city before? Why didn't he just say, yo, bro, let's build a city together? Come on, man. Come on, man. So when all that's said and done, a person just has to look at it that those are the generations. The generations actually line up to that point. And the book of Enoch is the clerical point for that. You would go there, and check it there, like a book clerk from there, just to really check my point of reference and say, okay, all right. Enoch did say in the days of Jared, his father, Enoch's father, that's when the angels came down and did what they did. So understand that if these dudes were living all these years, because let me tell you how long Jared lived. Okay, Jared lived after begetting Enoch 800 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared's life were 962 years, and he died. So if a man lived to be 962, that's a long process and a long time. And to think that Jared was 162 when he begot Enoch, you gotta understand. So, in that whole time, let's just say it took place in year 50. That's a whole 112 years of these dudes mating with humans. That's a lot of Nephilim, whatever you want to call them, babies. Iliud. Right. The Elohim begot children that were named as the Iliud. That's neither here nor there. They weren't called Nephilim. But I I can't get into that right now. Let's just stay here. 6 generations in on either one, from Jared on back, and then from Tobel, Jobal, and Jubal on back. 6 generations in. From Cain to Seth. Once again, Cain is almost the same physical age as his father. He just wasn't a man when his dad was. That's a huge factor, y'all, to take into consideration. However, I think I've jabber-jawed enough. I want y'all to just take it all in. Just take it all in. Thank you for your time. You guys take it easy. Much love. Peace. While I still have your attention, I'd like to speak briefly on our next movement. We're going to go back into Middle Earth. I'm going to make up a name of a group of people. I'm going to invent their story based upon the biblical precepts. Then I'm going to have these people come back up from Middle Earth and take over the presumed or assumed identity of another peoples who are already here. Within this, I'm going to show how they've congealed and commingled their genetics within the brand, and therefore the code of these people. And when I say brand and code, I'm talking genetics. With that said and that put forth, that voted, I would also like to say that it is very difficult for one man to present this information and to think that people will take him serious. So, this is why you haven't seen picture stories in a long time. I wanted to do one, but I don't want to do one. It takes a long time to do that and to get a low number of views for what I really believe and know is a high level of work for that kind of project. I'm just not that interested. It's not hard to put pictures together or to go back over a project I did months ago and delete the audio and then remap audio over it. Though that sounds lazy to you, those pictures were put together in a specific order to deliver a specific message. So it's not lazy, actually. It's actually very thoughtful. Hoping now, when you see the same pictures, knowing that we've gone over more things, your minds do understand it better. See, spectra is something that people overlook and will overreach very much. People will overlook symbology. People will overlook the fact that deity worship is not something that is actually old on this planet. Yay, it is new. So new that the first instructions to ever worship the Most High were given far after the flood. We're talking thousands of years of Earth's existence already going to pass through. And then the most crucial stages, deity worship was never mentioned. The most crucial stages being before the flood. The corruption of man, the corruption of flesh, does not entail said such beliefs. The idea that I'm going to bring a group of people to life out of my mind and then bring them forth as a regular people now. Now, the group that I end up having in the end, do not assume that this is how they got here. So whatever group of modern people I pick, do not assume this is how they got here. I'm just giving you an example of one of many Middle Earth tales. See, what scares them is that a man would speak into his mind, out of his sound mind, a thought or an idea of something like Middle Earth and make himself seem like a complete fool to only a person who was so caught up in their life that examining the situation for further causes and purposes is impossible. Therefore, the struggle of one individual is rendered moot by another individual and not a group, which is why I say what I say. There have been many videos that I put together thoughtfully. The words in the pictures almost line up. It was a long time ago. And the more you do something, and the more ineffective you see that is, and you have other things you do that seem to be more effective that you didn't try to do that with, it tells you that the mindset of the people is not what you believe it is. So therefore, within the people's mindset, I must cater to what it is that they think. They think that all black people are the same, so I must indefinitely attack on just the level of genetic science. So when you see pictures of just words explaining genetic code and genomes and phenotypes, alleles, recessive, dominant genetics. Can you dig it? A recessive, a dominant, a dominant, recessive, dominant. When you see such pictures that break down such happenings, the variable factor, independent, dependent, codependent, interdependent, manipulated, responding, controlled. However, this is something that I have to do. I cannot trust that what I'm saying is intelligent enough to make you think that I'm not lying to you. So since that be the case, I'd rather do it like this. I thank you so very much for your time. I appreciate you. And may the Most High judge between us.